you everyone for joining. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Salatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. Today's is our last webinar of this series, and inshallah, many more will come. But we are going to conclude the Halal Tokenize series today, inshallah. And thank you everyone who have been listening patiently for last 6, 7 weeks. Today we will be discussing the future of halal tokenization. We understand what is the trend. The trend today is, as we mentioned in our first webinar, that the tokenized value in the market today is US 38 billion. So it is not something which will come tomorrow or which is being discussed. It is already implemented. We have 38 billion active tokenized assets today on chain. And those of folks who want to understand what is the breakdown of 38 billion, yes, that is available on our YouTube channel. You can go ahead and look into it. We are also seeing a, a double digit trend. So from December 2025 till August 2026, within 7 to 8 months, we have seen that double digit growth. So from 19 billion closing in December, 38 billion as of August, roughly early August. We are seeing a very big major change. And I know why it is coming because with Mabrook, we have been watching it closely. We had a couple of opportunity to travel in Canada and in Washington, D.C. also, where some policymaker have been discussing, especially this Clarity Act, which is under the U.S. Senate. That is a hot topic, and most likely it will be coming in a couple of weeks. And we see the trend, the rise of tokenization because the companies are now basically companies like JP Morgan and others, they are now uh, par piloting tests. They are now doing a very what you call detailed sandbox testing with detailing. And we also see our industry, which is standing at $6 trillion, which is Islamic finance, not tokenized, and going to have a uh, growth of 9.7 trillion in few years and not tokenized. So this is the opportunity. So trend is 38 billion, double digit growth to the opportunity, we see that mashallah Islamic finance is growing with all those political issues and Islamic finance. And I should not say out loud here, but of course in West we are seeing some of political issues against the Muslim as well. Despite that, we are seeing the industry has a trend of growth. The informal tokenization we see in the industry where a couple of sukuks in Malaysia and UAE activity in real estate. Bahrain also came up with their regulator coming in and saying that digital asset is allowed. But of course, there is a serious supervisory board wrapper around it. That is only like negligible. I would say zero. So that is the opportunity we need to see. Challenges is something we are going to discuss today, and starting with what are the IFE standard, what should we do, and I will just stop here as I promised that moment Sheikh come, I will stop presenting. So, Sheikh Dr. Mufti Sultan, thank you very much for joining. Salaam alaikum warahmatullah, Sheikh. I know
Assalamu
it's late
alaikum
night.
warahmatullah. No
I know
problem.
it's
How are
late night.
you?
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. I'm so happy to
Alhamdulillah.
see you. The moment we see you, it's like, energy coming in into us, and we are kind of like,
It's a pleasure.
happy.
Same here. Same here. Jazakumullah khairan for you inviting us. Thank you so much.
For all the participant audience today, I know like it's not my hassiyat or my level to introduce Sheikh, but I will just for the folks who are not familiar, Dr. Mufti Sultan is founder and CEO of our advisory, which is based out of Malaysia. Sheikh also is very active in IFP policy making and groups. So he also advises. The uniqueness of Sheikh is that, mashallah, he is a registered Sharia advisor in Security Commission Malaysia as well as Lubban, the offshore financial services authority of Malaysia. Of course, working in IFP work group, being part of regulators and pioneering the on-chain Sharia governance with, I think, IBFT, if I recall it right. Sheikh, I think, is one of the leading expert in Islamic finance with blockchain angle. So today we will be asking Sheikh some tough questions as well as taking his advice and mashwara. With that, Sheikh, anything you want to say to audience before I begin my questions?
Yeah, again, thank you. Thank you so much, Brother Fahad, Brother Hassan, and I can also see Dr. Mufti Omer. Thank you for everyone. And also thanks to all the participants, particularly those who have been joining the webinars in the series. As you mentioned, this is the last one. And hopefully there has been some beneficial discussion out of it. And we can have some actionable steps accordingly, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan.
Yeah. So with that, your permission and Dr. Mufti Umar permission, I will start with the first question. Shiv, first question we have, of course, Mabrook and other Islamic fintech who are into blockchain. Um, some of them are doing cryptocurrency, some of them are part of stable coin, some of them are doing tokenization like Mabrook. And this is where we'd like to thank from Mabrook that from day one you have been hand-holding us on how to proceed. Without, I think, other advisors, you would have been working in dark. So my first question is that you are sitting in the IFE working group. Um, why there is no dedicated IFE standard on digital assets? And as you have been advising us on screening criteria, and something we'll discuss at the later stage of the webinar. For example, Sharia Standard 21, which basically qualifies a Muslim investor, qualifies the asset, whatever the off-chain asset or the traditional asset we have, on whether the Muslim can buy or not, all those debt and percentage and all. Why there is no IFE digital asset as of today?
Thank you so much for the very important question. Why there is no dedicated Sharia standard or governance standard on digital assets? Not only on IOFI, if we look at from other standard setters point of view, still we see a significant gap here. That there is, I would say, not many standard setters who have come up with standard to rule digital asset from Sharia point of view. First of all, I'm not representing IOFI. As you mentioned, I'm a CSAA fellow with IOFI and a master trainer, alhamdulillah, and member of few working groups. But just how IOFI works, it's a very rigorous process, I would say. It goes into several steps before a standard is issued. A preliminary study is done, and then a working group is formed. A lot of discussion is worked on, and then with the Sharia board, etc. And then our exposure draft is released. After exposure draft is released, then a lot of public hearing happens across the globe in different jurisdictions. And after that, with the revisions adopted from the public hearing that are brought to the board, the working group, etc. And finally, the standard is issued. If it's a Sharia standard, maybe it may involve even more Sharia discussion. I have heard several times from the people who have been instrumental behind the standard preparation, that sometimes each standard would take years. I think it is also evident if you look at the each standard, either it's a Sharia standard or governance standard in IUFI or accounting standard, they will always mention when the standard was started to be drafted and how many meetings they had. So we can see sometimes it took years to come up with a standard. Second point I would mention is that the standard number 21, of course, first of all, why IOFI exists? IOFI exists to uh, provide or come up with standards that would be applicable for Islamic financial institutions. That if we go look at the name itself, AAOIFI, it's a short form of Accounting and Auditing Organization for Islamic Financial Institutions. Initially, actually, there was no even Sharia, so Sharia is not even in the name. At the beginning, the idea was to uniform the accounting practices, auditing practices of Islamic financial institutions. Later on, Sharia and governance ethics also came. So the objective has been always like that. However, lately we have seen that it has gone beyond into a bit more than Islamic financial institutions. For example, we have seen a governance standard on crowdfunding. We have also seen standards for Waqaf Zakat, which are basically on social finance. So the role has basically expanded over time. So the expectation that IOFI would come up with something on digital asset is a legitimate expectation.
Hmm.
But having said that, as I know, actually IOFI has taken several steps, as I know on my personal experience. Again, I'm not representing IOFI, but I was brought in part of a working committee few years back, I think at least 3 to 4 years back. It was a cryptocurrency working group. But then at some point, we did not have further discussions, I believe, because there has been a lot of different perspectives on cryptos. The natures are very, very different.
Yeah.
Even we had a working committee on smart contracts as well. And that has a lot to do with digital assets, right? On blockchain-based transactions, etc. And that also we had, I was also involved in the preliminary study, but at some point things got a bit slowed down. Now, how I see all these things is that it may be because cryptos have been evolving a lot. So initially, if you look at the discussions at various Sharia boards across the globe, the discussions were more centric on Bitcoin. So whenever we say if cryptocurrency halal or haram, so discussions would always evolve somehow around Bitcoin. But over time, we have other types of cryptocurrencies. We have non-currency tokens, NFTs, ICOs. Now we have stable coins, different utility coins. So many taxonomies have also come with, and also the nature has changed or evolved a lot. So I think when I sat into different working committees, etc., it has been always there that things have not somehow been still standardized. Things are yet evolving so fast that to put a standard on it is still a long way to go. So maybe because of that, But on the other side of the things, if you look at from Securities Commission Malaysia perspective, you see, we had a resolution, I think, in 2023, around 2, 3 years back, which resolved that the digital currencies is more, they did not consider these as currencies, but as assets, digital assets. And they have laid down some parameters on how we can consider a digital asset Sharia compliant. And also based on that, Securities Commission Malaysia has also licensed few digital asset exchanges. So that is a good move, I would say, in the industry from such a regulator point of view. But we would still be hoping that IOFI comes up with something. I would end this question with another remark. I think even the Majma' al-Fiqh al-Islami, the International Islamic Fiqh Academy, have been discussing this topic few times. So if you look at the qararat, the decisions, you'll see over the last few years, few times things have been postponed, or at least they had initiated a discussion and they said it requires further deliberation. And I know one of our very well-known scholar, Sheikh Dr. Abdul Bari Mashal, I think he was also involved in some serious discussions a couple of years back, and he shared that there was a lot of discussions, day long, few days, but then they wanted to have further deliberations. So I hope that makes sense that in the standard setters
Yeah.
are actually, of course, they are there. I mean, I just wanted to make the point that they are not completely ignoring that. They understand it is important. They have been working on it. But on the other side, things are evolving so fast that they are taking some time.
It's hard to catch. Yes. And
Yeah.
similar in Canada, Sheikh, we don't have any digital asset policy at the regulator level. They are still
See, so
discussing it.
right.
So I get it. So no,
Yeah. So
Jazakallah,
usually
Sheikh.
Sharia would come after regulation,
After
usually,
regulation. Yes.
because otherwise, if Sharia says this way and then regulation so it's a different track, then we have
Correct.
another mess. Yeah.
Correct. Correct.
Right.
Thank you, Sheikh. I think it was very important to hear what is happening because we want to make sure that everybody who's participating and who will be seeing the recording, they are guided in the right way. The second question, Sheikh, is regarding uh, the June 2026 Darul Uloom Karachi crypto USDT, the stable coin. They have mentioned their reading is that it's not mal at all. While we are seeing that lot of Sharia compliant companies, cryptocurrencies, they without knowing who their scholars are or what they do. Yeah, I'm not pointing to them, but as a consumer, I get confused. One way I seeing that Darum Karachi is saying no, but other way I'm seeing there's an app where I can go and buy stable coin, and um, those are the questions where users are coming to Mabrook as well, and they're asking us, what should we do? as a customer? Should we do it or we don't do it? What is your guidance on this one?
Yeah, thank you very much for this question again. Again, I'm not representing Darul Uloom, and we have utmost respect for our mashayikh in Darul Uloom Karachi, particularly Sheikh Mufti Taqi Usmani Hafizahullah. He's not only like our teacher, but like our a mentor, and of course for the industry, he's a founding father, I would say. So first of all, we need to understand how the fatwas work in a Darul Ifta.
Hmm.
First and foremost, the fatwas are very much confined with the istifta, the question or the query that is received. It should not be considered applicable outside the scope of the question. So
Okay.
it should be the jurisdiction, the demography, as well as the person. So, for example, if a person asks the same question in Canada versus a person asks questions in Malaysia, it may be different. And we have seen this in many instances in Islamic finance industry as well. For example, if somebody asks this question, can I use a conventional credit card? So naturally, we would ask, where are you in? If you are in Malaysia, then it's a capital no, no, cannot, because you have you know a lot of access to Islamic credit cards. Why would you use conventional credit cards? But if the questioner is saying, "Oh, I'm based in Canada," for example, or in the US, okay, then we would uh, ask further that, okay, can you just use debit cards? Doesn't it work for you? Maybe the person would say, no, 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 I still need to use credit card for XYZ. So in that case, the Mufti would say, okay, then you may use, but strictly remember you must pay within the time period, which is basically without, it doesn't accrue any interest, for example. So the point I'm trying to make is that the same question, because of the different demography, may have different responses. If we look at what I was responding in the earlier question, let's say Malaysia. Malaysia has already licensed digital asset exchanges. So transacting with digital assets, first of all, is a legal thing. It's not illegal. Of course, it has
Correct.
to go through certain um, licensed exchanges. Like if uh, somebody transacts through any unlicensed digital asset exchange, then it will not be considered as legal. This right. Secondly, there is a very set parameter how we can consider it Sharia compliant. And as Securities Commission doesn't consider it currency, of course, Securities Commission's their purview is not on whether it should be a currency or not. They look from the securities point of view. So they consider these as a security. If it is XYZ, then it is Sharia compliant. So the point I'm trying to make is that if somebody asks this question in Malaysia, then we would say, yes, you can interact. I mean, first of all, is it legal? Yes, it is legal if you go through certain exchanges. Is it Sharia compliant? Yes, it has certain parameters. If you fulfill, then it may be Sharia compliant. But think for countries which does not permit transacting with cryptos at all. I did not have time to check about Pakistan, but let's say Bangladesh. If you go to the Central Bank Bangladesh website, it has a very bold, statement that do not, transacting with cryptocurrencies are not legal. So
Hmm.
if it is considered not legal, then as a mufti, then he would never go to that forget about that, but you can do it is Sharia compliant, because we have, as I was mentioning in my previous response, that it has to somehow align with the legal permissibility as well. So the point I'm trying to make is that we take this fatwa as BAU of a Darul Ifta. It's a business as usual.
Got it.
The Darul Ifta did not come up with a big separate fatwa that today is a new fatwa about cryptos. It was not like that. It was an individual asking his question. It was a BAU. Somehow it was overhyped in the media as if it is something new release,
For
which is
general.
not.
Okay.
Yeah, it is not.
Hmm.
It was not indicating as a new research has been done, right? And in fact, when we talked to our friends in Darul Uloom Karachi, they have also assured that there has been research going on, and this is a BAU query which actually had a basis based on previous research. So how the lifters work, if for such significant things, maybe they had a collective research, and until the next research reveals otherwise, the all the fatwas will actually be based on the previous one.
Noted.
Now, having that premise understood, how we should react to that, right? So I think first and foremost, if we understand that fatwas, again, as I mentioned, it's not that a fatwa in one jurisdiction means that it's automatically a fatwa for everyone. If we understand that and appreciate that, then we can see that there is always room to have further discussion and further elaboration. And again, I would quote the resolution of Securities Commission Malaysia. To me, mashallah, they have done a wonderful job. They took around 4 years. I remember still when they first issued the Sharia resolution, they shared the experience. The then chairman of the SSC, Prof. Ashraf, he also shared, like, they went to Japan, they went to various other countries to see exactly how the mining happens, how the transaction happens, how the staking happens. They went to that very technical detail, and they concluded that we cannot consider these as currency because there are some issues that it doesn't meet, but we can still consider this as mal, as
Hmm.
wealth, which was the center point in the Darul Fatwa. So I
Fatwa.
believe, inshallah, as they are still researching, and with the laws also, as you mentioned, the status of Canada, yeah, there is no law yet. So when the laws are also there, it will be easier for the ulama to consider, inshallah.
Noted.
From Brother Fahad, I would like to add a sentence to Sheikh Yusuf Sultan's statement.
Please go ahead.
Okay, so because Sheikh has discussed about Pakistan, so I would like just to, uh, in Pakistan, for example, till now, again, no law, which actually means that if a person is doing any transaction using these cryptocurrencies, actually, there is no law governing that particular transaction. A research is happening, alhamdulillah, as the Sheikh said, it is happening in the Darul, it is happening in various institutions, and maybe individually as well. But actually, as Sheikh mentioned, the recent research that has been done and decided for that particular transaction was that. So, and this is how the fatwa works. So in Pakistan, again, they have been working about. Discussing about digital assets and especially maybe like stablecoin, etc. But it's all a part of discussion even on the regulator side. So as it happens, like once the regulations are clear, the fatwa will be the newer fatwa will be easier to understand as well as implemented. So, for example, what if like fatwa is there but regulation is not there? So how the operationalization of that particular fatwa will work? So again, and as Sheikh mentioned for the last question as well, it is not only like Sharia scholars they have very slow pace or slow
Hmm.
speed in research. You can go towards economists, they have very different diverse opinions on it. You can go towards technologists, even like from reputable universities, they have exactly contradicting opinions. So this is all happening, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make easier for the consumers to understand, follow Sharia with its own spirit. Thank you.
Correct. And in just Canada, for example, when digital asset law is not applicable, then the nearest law is the crowdfunding securities law. So Mabrook, for example, via joint venture is following that. And the way we have architected and demonstrated to the regulator is crowdfunding with digital shares. We can call it token, but there's no oversight of token. So we cannot do secondary trading. There is no direct P2P transfer of the token allowed. So we have done those in our platform. As you and Sheikh have rightly, both of my Sheikh have rightly mentioned that if it is not legal, sorry, it's not allowed. I will go to the next question, which is again from the consumer point of view. As per the IFE regulation, equity screening give us like a 5% impure income, adoptability, applicability valid, 30% debt is valid. Anything beyond that is not valid. But now, when we go to the DeFi, decentralized DeFi application or DAO, right? Um, there is no annual report I can download of those folks. I don't know what I purchase is doing what. How can I trust that crypto screening? And how, as a serious supervisory board, what is your guidance for me to basically go and ask those questions, or what is the validation point for me for that?
Yeah, thank you so much. I believe the question is for me, Brother Fahad.
Yes,
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 sir.
it is.
Okay, sure. Jazakallah. First of all, Jazakallah, Dr. Mufti Omer. Thank you very much. Your inputs have been adding a lot of value to what I tried to mention as well. Jazakallah. So on this particular question, you are very right. When we look from IOFI standard point of view or any other equity screener methodology, Sharia screening methodologies point of view. So we have some denominators. For example, we look at the market cap, we look at the total assets or total income, for example. A lot of these information, first of all, may not be evident or audited or verifiable in the crypto industry or in the DeFi industry, I would say. So, and also furthermore, it's not as I was mentioning in the first question that the IOFI standard 21, for example, is more for corporates, companies, financial papers, shares and bonds, which may partly seem similar for ICOs, for example, when the companies issue coins to raise funds. But when it comes to particular digital assets which represent utilities, which represent or which function as currencies like stable coins, we have to bring many other additional aspects as well. So, first of all, of course, we will look into if there is any lending or borrowing with interest or not, or what actually the utility gives us. Is it any Sharia non-compliant or prohibited sector or utility or not? Of course, that these are like very basis. But more than that, we have to also look at the different types of treasury composition, particularly if it's a stable coin. We cannot ignore that. We have to also look into that. We may also have to look into the governance rights, who can do what and what they can do. I mean, what token holders can change, etc. And also maybe the contracts or anything that generates money for the token holders, either through staking or through mining or in different ways or not others. And last but not least, independent audits when it exists. As you mentioned, it may not be accessible. There may be no data, no reports. And that exactly is one of the key reasons, I would say, in my observation, why we may not have a Sharia standard fully on it, because we don't see any global standardization yet. Unlike equity, for example, somehow we have seen a bit standardized approach. If it is listed into any exchange globally, in any, either it's in New York or London or any other big exchange, we definitely know that they are following certain base level compliance, which may not be true for the crypto industry yet. So I think these are some of the additional things we may have to look at. But as you mentioned, these may not be always found very easily. So that's why we may have to look into a lot of proxy information from the white paper, from many other information that are provided by the issuer in the website or many other different channels they use. So these proxy information may be considered as the different data points, which gives us the answers, like how the returns are generated, how the treasury is managed, etc., etc. So I think it's not a straightforward numbers like equities.
Hmm,
We cannot just look into some report like balance sheet and key in the number and done. There must be a lot of looking at a lot of different data points where AI and such advanced technologies can be useful, inshallah.
exactly. Sheikh, Dr. Mufti Umar, any feedback from you on this one? You want to add
Mm,
anything?
I was just wondering that, for example, like these thresholds set by our expert Sharia scholars, actually, uh, first of all, it tells that, for example, in a market where not everything is 100% compliant, debts are happening, interest-based things are happening, but actually Muslims can do partnerships, they can do work, they can do investments. As far as these technological spheres are concerned, they have been, because they have been a bit diverse or different from what actually happens under a exchange like Pakistan Stock Exchange and other exchanges. Uh, the level of dire need, or the level of authority of like having some screening criteria or filtering some kind of institutions and leaving others inside. I think it it requires a bit more research, and for the time being we can apply the standards because alhamdulillah they are all agreed by the scholars. But more research can be done on it, like in order to actually identify the level of need in these particular situations. Like actually, we can go less than 5% as well, or let's say 1% or maybe 0%. So these are something that depends on the kind of investments, on the kind of platform we are working on.
Great, inshallah. And I will let Sheikh the Dr. Mufti Sultan in a little bit talk about the work he's doing with us, Mabrook. Basically, I think Adel Advisory is ahead of the curve. MashaAllah, they are already into research phase, and most likely they will be coming up with a solution. But I'll let Dr. Mufti Sultan talk about it. So my next question is about the possession. So Sheikh, like platform like Mabrook, where we are regulated in El Salvador, for example, they have asked categorically that the wallet should the possession of the private key is with the user, right? That means that they are the custodial, right? Some of in a way. Of course, there's a third party involvement and all that I won't talk about. There's a insurance and takaful and all those come into play, the security as well. But if I ask, like generally speaking, in Islamic law, the possession or cup traditionally means that I take a physical receiving of something, right, an asset in our example, digital asset, or having my money credited into my bank. In crypto, if I hold the private key of my wallet, does it mean that I now that qualifies me to being having a possession of my asset? For example, do I truly possess my coin in Sharia sense? And the problem, what I am hearing is that some of the people in Canada, I was just talking to them and they asked me a question that, uh, okay, I don't hold a key. I just go to the exchange and I just buy a token. And the token goes into my wallet. And whenever I sign in, I see something is in my wallet. So those people actually own their coins, or this is like exchange owning them? And if their exchange is owning it, what is the Sharia compliance on that?
Thank you for the question, Brother Fahad. I think when it comes to qabd or possession, overall Sharia is very fluid, and a lot of things from the urf can be taken, customary practices can be taken. So anything or any particular state of things which can be considered possession um, in the custom may be considered as possession in the Sharia as well. Overall, if we look at the Sharia standards issued by IOFI, for example, Sharia standard number 18 on qabd, it mentions that possession is defined as gathering of thing or what takes its
Hmm.
rule according to the requirements of customary practice. And furthermore, if we look at the type of how constructive possessions are defined, for example, in another standard, standard number 1, it is defined as where the seller enables the other party to take delivery and dispose of the asset, even without physical receipt. So the main idea of possession is that it is discharged for the buyer in a way that the buyer can now, without any obstruct, can have its own dealings. For example, if he wants to transfer, if he wants to sell, he doesn't have to take a permission from the seller, or he doesn't have to, he is not stopped or, or given any obstacle. In fiqh point of view, we call it takhliya. So often, sometimes we may not have the qabd itself, but takhliya itself can also be considered as a representation of qabd or possession. Now, coming back to your question, I think today, when it comes to private keys, of course, this remembering private keys or storing private key itself is a hassle. So definitely, a person would require certain tools to save it or to keep it safe. And this is where I believe the wallets or those who are providing such services like custodians, uh, they come into practice, that they hold the private keys and gives a very easy to remember user interface for the owners, so that the owners may only remember their own way of doing things in the normal digital world. So they remember the username and password, and they may interact with their own tokens. So this may fulfill the custodian role. I mean, having my asset with a trustee or a custodian, even in our current business as usual things, it doesn't contradict with ownership. For example, if I have some shares, but I put that under a trustee, it doesn't mean that I own these shares. As long as I have the legal right to dispose this off, it will still be considered as possession. So from that perspective, I think having these in the wallets, we don't have any issue. But if it is in a omnibus wallet where the custodian may use it for other purposes, then maybe we need to see, or we need to further examine if it would be still considered as a part of the possession of the tokens owned by the owner, or would it be like kind of loan or card taken by the platform wallet provider, which later they will return, similar to current account. You know how current accounts work.
Yeah,
The corporates, they have their money, but then the money actually is used by the bank or
treasury.
financial institution, yeah,
Yeah,
treasury. So
correct.
the categorization usually is card, is loan. So maybe if we look further, it may be like that if they are using those tokens, if it's
Mm.
on a shared address or something like that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Dr. Mufti Umar, any feedback?
Uh, no,
Okay.
thank you, Mr.
And Jazakallah Sheikh for that. And for example, Mabrook, following the best practices, what we do is that we make sure that we have asset segregation. So if our Sharia supervisory board says that Fahad, go and get Dr. Umar Mufti asset, I will not go and try to split it out from the other asset. The way it's work is that the asset is stored under Dr. Mufti Umar account. And of course, he does not have to remember the private key, but we are using the custodial services where the custodial have the private key, which Mabruk does not know what is it, as Sheikh just explained. So in that cycle, it's very clear. But in a cycle, as Sheikh was saying, in an omnibus kind of a wallet where there's a common and there's a control, then Sharia supervisory board needs to go and look at the mechanics. Thank you, Sheikh, for that. So I will just, my last question for today is the fiat-backed stablecoin, especially Genius Act passed in US, and the war is happening right now, whether the stablecoin should give a yield return to the consumer or not. Anyhow, the question is that the fiat-based stablecoin is often the safest because people see it's a dollar-backed coin or a currency-backed coin, right? But the stablecoin like USDC, USDT, they are sitting on the treasury bill of US, which are riba, basically interest-based foundationally. Now, the other side, very new stablecoin rules now require a Sharia advisor, and Bahrain has clearly indicated that the passive yield is completely banned. You cannot create a yield out of a stablecoin. Is a truly riba-free stablecoin, Sheikh? Is Sheikh Dr. Mufti Ustan, is it like free stablecoin is actually possible, like from the Sharia point of view? Or is purification the best way we can do? Like we just treat those interests as a purification and let it go in our charity and then use that instrument. So Sheikh, if you can just enlighten us with that answer.
Yeah, thank you very much. You highlighted an important point, which I personally am also very concerned, since we have been seeing a lot of usage of stable coins. The thing is, if we consider stable coins as apple to apple with like fiat, which are basically issued and endorsed by governments, then we have similar issue in fiat as well, right? The governments may
Yeah.
have interest-bearing loans, etc., etc. So from that lens, we may say if we are allowing fiat, then why not stable coins, which are often invested heavily with treasury bills, interest-bearing treasury bills. But on the flip side, these stablecoin, particularly USDT, USDC, as you mentioned, the most popular ones, these are actually not issued by any governments, private companies. And they are making a claim that this one coin or one token is equal to one USD. And how they are backing that claim is by managing their treasury, and the treasury is actually invested heavily in treasury bills. Yes, the interest is not passed through the stable coin holders, but they make these investments into interest bearing instruments. So in from that perspective, what I have seen so far, the scholars who just consider this as, because we don't have like, why a lot of scholars are against cryptos, because mostly because of volatility, right? So since USDT, USDC or such stable coins, they don't have this volatility, as the name suggests, they're pretty much stable. Because of this, many scholars would ignore the other part of the things, like where actually the stable coins are invested in. So for them, as long as it has addressed the volatility, no interest is earned, we have no issue, we can just use that. But for me, when I look at the other side of the things, I am really concerned, because these are uh, private companies. So of one I see more like securities. So people, even though it's not earning any interest per se, but it is backed, or the money is actually invested into the interest-bearing treasury bills. The CBB rule that you mentioned, which I think was last year, I'm not sure. I did not actually exactly get that thing that they have completely banned any sort of reward completely. But if they come up with a Sharia compliant framework, then that's what I think we should look forward to for
Yeah,
Islamic finance industry. We should promote, or support stable coins that come free from these issues. The whole point why in Islamic finance industry we are so excited about all these blockchain or cryptos or DeFi, because we want to come out of riba. Now you
yeah.
are coming out of riba and falling into another riba. So that doesn't give us any real benefit. So I think I would be very excited to see we have stable coins which are free from touching any riba, any no treasury bills. Maybe they can invest into Sukuk to keep their returns, keep their stability, or any other Islamic finance instruments, but not touching into riba-based instruments. Thank you.
Understood. You're welcome. Dr. Mufti Umar, any feedback from you on this one?
That was worth learning from Sheikh.
Yeah. So with that, I will just conclude the questions. I know folks here will be waiting for asking the question. I will let you guys unmute. So anybody who wants to ask question, please raise your hand. Meanwhile, I will just run couple of slide and request Dr. Mufti Sultan to uh, basically guide us on the solution, because we have discussed so many problems in DeFi. We don't have per se a clean IFE digital asset ruling, right? Standards. Then what should I do? Um, I do see a halal opportunity. The way Mabrook sees it, or any tokenization or cryptocurrency company should see it, is as what I am presenting here. There's a huge opportunity, right? Um, we are 24, 5% of the world population, mashallah. And we have a lot, I think Muslim are one of the largest consumer in crypto space as well. What I've heard in Pakistan are two numbers. Some people are saying we are close to 8 million wallets. Some are saying it's 40 million in Pakistan. Nigeria would be same. Saudi would be same. I guess Malaysia, Indonesia would be same. So there's a lot of inequality, and those consumers are looking for halal opportunities. What are those halal opportunities that we can work on? Commodity Moraba is the cleanest one, right? The size of commodity Moraba is between 500 billion deposit up to 380 billion financing. Then we have Sukuk, as Sheikh was mentioning. Sukuk outstanding today is more than 1 trillion. Last December, when I checked, it was 1 trillion outstanding. Big opportunity. So we can have Sukuk instrument. Then we have grown Sukuk opportunity. We haven't touched that. Then we have gold tokenization, precious metal tokenization. Then we have real estate. So all those are halal opportunities available. There is, for example, a very good work being done in US. One of the Muslim brother got like a approval from Orlando to build city of Orlando, the state of Orlando to build a halal resort. Then we have some folks in Indonesia, they are actively building some halal resort as well. Why not we tokenize them, bring it to those consumers which I was talking about? Those opportunities are there. But the question, what we discuss, and I cannot emphasize it more, that governance is the key. So governance is the constraint which is holding the market, right? It's not technology. It's not like, okay, Mabrook has built a beautiful tokenization and exchange. Okay, let's roll it out and then we go and take the market. No, I think the first is governance. Technology is for us is like an easy thing, right? So we understand the gap today exists is there's no Sharia standard for digital asset. The the newest Sharia governance framework does not cover what we have discussed, right? For example, a stable coin. We get into the stable coin. The cup model we discuss. What is those? So we need kind of a North Star or Sharia supervisory board to handle it with the technology knowledge as well. Then we understand this the Sukuk standard is fluid right now. The standard 62 is still being, if I last checked, Sheikh, by the way, I have checked that it's still fluid, it's not finalized yet. The sealing standard are contradicting. Some of the people are seeing S&P, some people go and follow DJIM and all that. The screen of the equity or the cryptocurrency or the digital asset or especially stock, they are very manual today, right? So with that, I will just go to the last slide, and this is where other advisory have been working day and night, basically, and I will let Sheikh talk about it. Just give me 5 seconds, Sheikh. I will just round up this presentation. Other advisory very soon will be rolling out a Sharia screening and monetary services. It's like an end-to-end service where fintech like me, who are tech savvy folks, they want to go into the crypto world, but they don't have any light to follow, right? And even if they follow some standard, they are in a constant problem of how can I monitor? Okay, today I've got a fatwa, I tokenize the asset, or there's a stable coin which I have adopted based on my Sharia supervisory board discussion. The problem is that how can I ensure my consumer is always getting the latest updates on the governance side of it? How can I monitor automatically? Do I need to have a Sharia control officer? So all those heavy lifting, I think Adal Advisor has come up with a very great idea of having a Sharia and screening and monitoring service, where not only the front load, like the onboarding of the asset will be done, but the continuous monitoring and alerts, scholarly supervisory methodology, like giving a clean mapping of those ruling with the IP standard, so we can also educate our consumers, not only the platform owners, the entire purification calculation to audit trail of everything which we want to expose to our consumer. So they transparently can see, okay, the stable coin I'm buying, the cryptocurrency I'm buying, the tokenized asset which Mabrook has done I'm buying is audited? Is it really purified? Okay, give me the last audit trail of all the Sharia audit done. So all those automation, I think Adanta has pulled off. And of course, they are also providing a managed service where you can give like the entire work towards other advisory using their not only integrating their software to screen, but also use other advisory for do the entire serious supervisory report. So market can trust you and you are properly governed. I think the wherever I'm traveling in US or in Canada or even Europe, and inshallah very soon, Gulf, whenever I'm meeting my peer, I'm telling them, please, Sharia is something day one. It's not day two, day three, day four, day five. The moment you start doing something, you start creating a product, you need to have Sharia structuring it. And my experience with other advisory has been phenomenal because Sheikh himself and the team is very technical. It's not only for the fiqh knowledge, but technical also. With that, Sheikh, kindly please, if you can uh, elaborate it more.
Yeah, thank you so much, Brother Fahad. You have already covered it comprehensively. I would just add to this is that this is something that we have been trying to do for a long time. Alhamdulillah, we have been working closely with Mabrook to come up with such a screening method or technology, which is not only confined with traditional equities or stocks, rather it also incorporates cryptos and tokens, basically digital assets. And this is where I think the discussions that we had today is very important, because we want to look into uh, not only certain numbers like traditionally was looked for equities, but we, as I mentioned also in one of the questions, addressing one of the questions, that when it comes to cryptos and digital assets, a lot of data points are not available straightforward. So we have to look into a lot of proxy data, proxy information as well from the white paper, and many other different disclosed information as well. So we want to build this solution that it can take into consideration these things in a systematic way. So it's not subjective; it's very objective, and it gives a level of confidence for individuals or fund managers or such corporates to take their Sharia compliance decision. And furthermore, we want to also accommodate ongoing monitoring or ongoing compliance status as well, because we believe when it comes to Sharia governance, it's not only just to make sure that an asset or token or security is Sharia compliant when we at the point of investment or at the point of transaction. Rather, until we are liquidating it, the whole period of holding it is also very important. Because if it is not Sharia compliant at a given point of time, then the profit earned at that point of time may not be Sharia compliant as well. So that also brings us to the purification part. An audit trail is very important so that the Sharia auditors can also audit whenever it's required. And not only Sharia auditors, from a business point of view, also the risk management, I think, also will be benefiting from these features. So we are very excited to launch it. I think, Brother Fahad, you can share how soon we can launch it, inshallah, for the public. Thank you so much.
Jazakallah, Sheikh. Inshallah, we are in the final stages on beta testing. So anyone out there who want to test our solution for free, we are more than willing to do it. Not only will be doing the traditional stock solutioning, but also the crypto and the real world asset. And we are calling it as a proper Sharia governance layer, which basically can fit it on your infrastructure without much of integration or development work. And we don't expect you to have Sharia knowledge. This is where myself also I rely on other advisory and Dr. Mufti Umar to guide me. So I think this is very important because as Sheikh has rightly said that the why we are adopting this technology is to take the ummah out of the interest. So what is the point if Fahad goes in and he is not a subject matter expert, but he's a technical person and he hooks his system with the stable coin without understanding where the stable coin depth go. And then he come back to Sharia Supervisory Board and they say, no, this is not halal. So, that's the reputation we are talking about. I think reputation in financial industry is number one. So, so I think for that, I will request everybody to please reach out to us at support@almabruk.io or even other advisory. Come and test out the system. By next week, we'll be ready with the beta. Once we have other advisory demonstration done, final approval, then probably for September we can take the intakes, inshallah. Yeah. So that's the idea. Any questions from anyone on the bridge with us today? Anybody wants to ask any sort of a question? We have Sheikh supporting us. I know it's almost, I think it's past bedtime of Sheikh and it's almost 10 p.m. in Malaysia, so I'll let him go in 1 minute. Any question for anybody, they can raise their hand and I can unmute them. And then me and Dr. Umar will stay for another 5 to 7 minutes, inshallah. Let me see the Q&A as well. So this is very unusual, Sheikh. Me and Dr. Umar get like a lot of questions. But I think having you Nobody want
it
to
is
ask any question.
it is sometime barakah of some people. Actually, it
Yes,
solves many questions without being asked.
exactly. Okay, I see one question popping up. It's from Rusdana Pratina Vijaya. I'm so sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Rujdi from Indonesia. Currently, I started to make a distributed ledger technology marketplace, collecting the whole thing, which is already standardized with halal certification all over the world. Is it okay we make it or any idea inside to make it there? Brother, I don't understand your question. Is it like, are you saying that do you need a certification again, or what is your question? Can you unmute yourself, or I will just assume what is your question? I'll just give you 5 seconds. You can raise your hand. Rusdi, are you on the call? I think Sheikh, his question is that a lot of distributed ledger technology in the market are halal certified. Okay, he's here. Um, Let me unmute him. Rusdi, are you there? Okay. One, two, three, four, five. And I think his question is that if I do it and I know it's halal, do I need to recertify it? Yeah, Dr. Mufti Sultan, what is your take on it?
Yeah, if what you mentioned is a question uh, that so
Distributed
if
ledger technology. Yeah,
the marketplace collecting the whole thing, which is already standardized. Uh, I think first of all, who needs Sharia compliance certification? First of all, we are not talking about halal certification. Of course, it's a halal certification as well, but halal certification has become very standardized globally for particularly food, beverages, and fashion, and many other sectors. But when we say particularly for Islamic finance sector, we call more it a Sharia compliance certification. Now, who needs Sharia compliance certification? So, as per the governance, Sharia governance standards, IOFI or IFSB or others, more or less we can conclude that any endpoint platform, like if you are the one who are interacting with the users, then you require Sharia compliance certification as well, even though the systems or the coins, or in this case, I don't know, maybe the some of the things that you are utilizing are already Sharia certified. That will make the job easier for the Sharia board or the Sharia advisor, but still, as the endpoint platform that is facing the users, you still require to have it vetted through eligible Sharia advisor or Sharia board. Yeah. I hope that
Jazakallah Sheikh.
answers your question. It's not fully clear to me, but I hope that
I
makes
think we
sense.
should go, and then Rizdi can always reach us out. Jazakallah Sheikh, I'll let you go because I know it's very late. Jazakallah khair, and we look forward rolling it out formally, inshallah, once our Sharia governance is ready to roll out. We are ready to take any testing. So anybody out there who want to test cryptocurrency, digital asset tokenization, traditional stock, they want to test out the Sharia governance framework, please feel free to reach us out at support@almabruk.io. Jazakallah Sheikh, I'll let you go. Thank you very much. I am so thankful to you for giving us your time. If you want to go give any closing remarks, you are very welcome. Otherwise, we'll let you go. Jazakallah
Yeah,
khair.
thank
May
you
Allah
very
reward
much,
you.
Brother Fahad, Dr. Mufti Omer, Brother Hassan from TAIF, and all the participants today, and those who will be watching this video later on, maybe online. I hope the discussions we had was beneficial. And as we discussed, this is quite evolving a lot. So a lot of things or remarks we made, perhaps based on the available information so far, things may change, and we may need further discussions and deliberations for the future, inshallah. So with that, I
Jazakallah
thank you
khair.
again. Jazakumullah khairan.
Thank you,
Assalamu
Sheikh,
alaikum
for
wa
being
rahmatullahi
here.
wa
Wa
barakatuh.
alaikum assalam. Okay, so we'll stay. Any questions participant want to ask Dr. Mufti Umar? He's here. If somebody wants to ask some tech question, myself, Fahad, we are here. Um, it's been, I think, this is the idea Dr. Umar gave that Brother Fahad, we should have like a webinar series. Awareness is something I also need, right? In this webinar series, maybe I've learned like a lot of lot of stuff more than anybody else in the webinar. Like today, for example, a refresher that the Darul Uloom Karachi fatwa is not applicable on Mabrook. I have to talk to my Sharia supervisory board. They are technical expert. I don't have to follow the Darul Uloom Karachi fatwa, which is issued in Karachi, and apply on the Mabrook without asking my Sharia supervisory board, because they are the technical matter expert. They understand what are the protocol. Just like in banking, I know if I need to file a report, I need to go to a regulator, and which regulator and what are the reports, what the format look like. I have to follow that process. I cannot just jump in and then see that, oh, regulator has sent a circular to everybody that is applied on me. Probably no, but I have a compliance officer who will guide me over that. Yes, brother Kaisar, go ahead. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah, Kaisar.
Assalamu alaikum wa
Wa alaikum
rahmatullahi
assalam.
wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Sir, my question is little bit general. Uh, actually, so many webinars regarding the Islamic finance I used to attend, but uh, uh, we have whenever we apply for any institute or organization to have like an expert in Islamic finance, that we haven't any sort of a certified certificate, because as I know till date that we have two organization IUV that gave the certification of Sharia audit, Sharia governance, etc. But when we go through the website of the IUP, the certifications, even the registration is too high as per relatively, because Mufti Umar will comment on that, that the registration fees is in dollars. So being a citizen of Pakistan, it is very difficult for us to have a registration on that, because that registration fees is almost over 75% of our salary. Similarly, the TAIF Institute of, I was trying to ask from the Dr. Mufti Sultan, but unfortunately I didn't at that time. So let me know that, is there any sort of a certified certification that have been globally accepted with the lower cost, or like a Mabrook is going to have some sort of arrangement like that or not? So I think this is somehow the general question, not regarding the. Alhamdulillah, you have told thoroughly about the fatwa of Jamia Ulum Karachi. Is I'm the graduated from Jamia Ulum Karachi, and we have a blind trust on that. And whatever we have get from the Jamia Ulum Karachi is totally as a set authority for us. So these are the two things. I just need your clarification regarding these. Thank you.
Exactly. Dr. Mufti Umar, you want to take this question?
I think I'll answer one part and you will complete it. First of
Sure.
all, like for example, having these Sunday webinar series, having like we had, Alhamdulillah, more than 7 hours of detailed in discussions on focused topics and relevant topics and even futuristic topics, that some of the topics are going to be needed in the future. So it was all free, Alhamdulillah, from TAIF, from Mabrook, and it was marketed all over the globe. And it is, Alhamdulillah, one of the very good initiatives by Mabrook, TAIF, and we have, Alhamdulillah, uh, invited many reputable Sharia advisors as well on board, like to have their opinion as well on these topics. So first of all, like to learn, actually, we need to learn from all these webinars as well, number one. And I think Mabrook is going to issue the certificates for the people who were present throughout the webinar series, number one. Number two, actually, what about the certifications are concerned, I think we can discuss like in Taif, and Fahad may have some better suggestion or like SN on these points.
Yes. So, Taif, Brother Kaisar, if you can please drop an email to support@almabrook.io, or you can drop an email to Taif as well. Taif does provide a 30% discount. So, Alhamdulillah, Taif has been doing a great job. This is one of the company I founded, and SN is on the call as well. we are providing 30% discount on the IFE fee for you. Okay. And we are providing a lot of free material to also prepare you on that. There are free material on TAIF Learning YouTube channel. They are free learning when you pay the fee. They are going to send you a guide. I think it's very affordable, 30%. There are some fee where we cannot make it like 90%, right? But that's the discount we could get for the folks in Pakistan and rest of the countries where people cannot afford. There is a vision in TAIF, inshallah, when we are big enough that we can also start some scholarships as well. Unfortunately, we don't have, and this is something I've been discussing with, I think Dr. Umar also I maybe discusses, because I think this is like this is the first pen in my heart today. We don't have a global work for our Muslim, right? And I think when I started Mabrook, I was more peculiar that why not we do a blockchain work? But it's not easy to do a cross-country work. But inshallah, someday we'll start. So we can divert it to the needy student. We can guide it to the human capital. Because I think in Islamic finance, as Brother Kasser, you have rightly said, there's an acute problem. I cannot emphasize on more than this, that it's a big risk of not having a proper human capital. And this is where people are misguided. Let me put it like as simple as that. So having people like you, qualified Sharia auditors, accounting professionals, and also IP accrediting that places like in Canada and the other place will have like a better way to do it. So contact Taif. SN is here. He just turned on his camera. All right, Brother Kassan, I hope I kind of answered your question in some way.
Got it, sir.
Okay.
Got it, sir. Thank you so much. Jazakumullah
Yeah.
khair.
Right. You can also drop your email on the chat if you want, Brother Kassan. You can route it to me. So, right, for the privacy,
Sure,
you can
sure. I
just,
already subscribed your channel, YouTube channel already. So inshallah, I will drop it my email as
yeah.
well.
And there is a contact at taif.ae. You can also drop an email there for any courses. Anybody who wants to take courses, they cannot afford it. Just write that we cannot even afford 30% discount. We'll see what we can do, but no promises. 30% is like the we are providing today. All right, I think there are no such questions today. Mashallah, the public is very, very quiet. Uh, Either they are bored, they are done with us, they are sweating, or I think they have all the answers, mashallah. I think that's the second one, the latter is the more
So, Assalamu alaikum, Fa, thank you very much. So,
welcome. So,
before we, Alhamdulillah, we reached the end of this Halal tokenization series that took 7 weeks to complete. People who joined these sessions continuously, we monitored their presence, and after today's, we will conclude. So, inshallah, with a gap of 1 day, we will receive certificates from Mabrook, inshallah. This course will be available on TAIF platform for free to attend again. All right, there's a masterclass done by TAIF is also available. We'll send the link to everybody. So in case if you want to share or revisit or see things that you may have missed, that be there. Apart from that, the series have put us into a stage where we want to continue this process of learning. The people who have joined with us, we have memorized their name, and that makes us that there is a lot of understanding that needs to be done, a lot of gap, a lot of hunger can be seen. To fulfill that hunger or feed that hunger, Mabrook, Kaif, and other partners will work and collaborate to make sure we keep on advising you on the things that are necessary. Inshallah. So we will be conducting, inshallah, one webinar every month. And if you guys will keep on coming and keep on asking questions, keep on understanding, we will keep on doing things. So only your presence will make these things keep on going on. So Jazakallah, Mufti Umar, thank you very much for continuous support on 7 week, answering the questions, challenges taken by at different stages from Fahad and from our speakers, Mufti Yusuf Sultan and Dr. Farrokh Habib. They came to us. Thank you a lot of all the partners, GIFS, other advisory, Next If, DG State, Halal Money Forum, All right, inshallah. And if there is anything else, Sheikh, you want to conclude with the dua, inshallah, we'll close the session then.
Uh, Uh, Shortly, Alhamdulillah, that was a very good experience, and I personally think that is a sadqa jariyah for myself. And may Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, all the people who are involved, even the person who made just like the post to be shared, everyone has a part in propagating this knowledge which is required. And when we talk about knowledge, actually, this is the knowledge which is needed for the investors, like when they are going to invest and what are the needs for Sharia compliant investing. So I personally think this is a very may Allah Subhanahu wa Taala accept all these efforts from TAIF, from a group, from each and every person who is involved. Number one. Number two is actually, as you said, that we are planning to continue this, but not actually at this pace. Maybe like we are going to have some monthly sessions with some guests and maybe some on topics, so that we shall be able to continue these topics, maybe some more topics, because as the technology is evolving. And uh, I think this was a very good experience. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of these efforts. So, that was from my side.
Ameen, Jazakallah. I think there's Isha there in Karachi. So I will let you go. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Inshallah, see you soon. Follow us on LinkedIn. Ask any question on the LinkedIn. Subscribe our YouTube channel of Mabrook on the YouTube. You can just type Mabrook space token with a disclaimer that there is nothing called Mabrook token in the world. It's just like how YouTube will get you to the YouTube channel. And then we go from there. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Hassan, for all the hard work. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam.